Hey everybody, Kaoiji here. I still have a mighty need for new Genesis, so I decided I wanted to make one more video talking about some of the information that I learned over the last few days since the live stream. And honestly, I thought I'd share it with you guys. Anyway, let's just jump into it. So when I was reviewing the fighter footage, one of the things that I left out is that it had a counter ability. Now over at the Tokyo Game Show, they actually showcased something like this before. Hunter, Force, and Ranger, each also having their own counters. Now, because I didn't actually cover this before, I wanted to touch on this now, mainly because I still think that this is one of the best additions in terms of speeding up combat in Phantasy Star Online, and then also because one of the major comments that I had in my previous video is, where is Braver? Now, for those of you guys who are well aware, Braver actually has a huge focus on countering attacks, as that's one of the ways that they are able to release their katana gauge. So I really wouldn't worry about losing out on katanas in New Genesis, as seeing something that's so core to the Braver kit already in the base game of Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis, it just makes me feel like there's nothing really there to worry about. My current theory on why Braver isn't going to be available at launch is mainly because of Bullet Bow. As we've seen so far in multiple game footage, there's been a ton of reliance on mobility as well as aerial combat, and a lot of Bullet Bow's PAs require you to be stationary. So I'm actually going to hold out hope to say that Braver might actually have one of the coolest reworks in all of New Genesis. But I think that's all I'm going to touch on when it comes to Braver. Now, our next topic is actually a series of topics, all kind of revolving around the same thing. And that's actually the way that attack, or the base attack value in Phantasy Star Online 2 is going to work. I mean New Genesis. As you already know, attack values are actually separated into three categories: melee, ranged, and tech power. Is that a user actually posted an image of a portion of the UI that had a side translation on it. Now, I have to give a huge thanks over to H Brigade, because I'm not going to lie to you, this wasn't even something that I was looking at originally. And it helps even more so to say that it's actually mapped out in the image itself. Now, one of the big reasons I'm talking about this is because we now see battle power, which could just mean the combat power or item level, depending on what kind of game you guys came from. But the big thing that I want to take note here is actually the attack to defense values. Seeing it as one single attack stat is actually a huge improvement over the original Phantasy Star Online 2, because what it seems like is, because of the multi-weapon system, there's actually just one flat attack stat. So rather than having to affix or augment multiple different stats onto a unit or weapon, now you can actually just focus on one attack stat and call it a day. So for those of you guys who have been wanting affixing to be easier for who knows how long, it definitely seems like it's going to be that way. And then also, this actually allows us to be able to look at things a little bit deeper when it comes to the weapon system, because then it means that if multiple weapons have the same attack values, it's really just going to come down to what kind of potential that they're actually going to have on that piece of gear. That is assuming that weapon potentials is something that comes back. It also makes me think that because now the way that things are becoming simplified, there's going to be that much more of a focus on things like elemental resistance and defense. But mainly, I could sit here and speculate all day. Again, we're going to have to wait into the closed beta. Now, that actually leads me to the topic of the closed beta itself. Right now, we do know that the closed beta test is actually only available in the Japanese version. I'm going to post a link to that in the description down below, as well as a link to the specs page. One of the things that was actually spoken about recently is that the specs that were listed on the page itself for the closed beta is saying that these specs are subject to change. Now, personal opinions, I'm not going to lie to you, I do think that these specs are a little bit higher than they should be, because on the surface, everything looks great until I start looking at things like the CPU. But maybe that's just my only problem here. Now, one of the reasons I'm bringing up the beta test, to get back on topic, is because right now this is a Japanese only beta test. I'm going to do my best, and I'm sure a lot of other YouTubers are going to do their best as well, to be able to get the information out to you guys as quickly as possible. But one of my wish lists, I guess, that I'm really hoping for the closed beta is actually to see not just the combat system, but at least to taste the sorry, I broke character for a second, but to have a crack at the augmenting system. Because if it's as really as simple as all we need is capsules or maybe weapons that already have current augments on them, then I'm not going to lie to you, that's going to be a huge boon to new players as well as veterans to figure out what the best sort of setup is going to be. What are some things you guys found out about the previous live stream that maybe I didn't cover already? And if you did sign up for the closed beta test, then let me know. But also let me know any of your thoughts about whether or not there's a topic or something about this video. I'm not going to lie to you, recently I've been really enjoying making these, so thank you so very much for the continued love and support. If you guys want to do me a favor, also come and visit my live stream over at twitch.tv/Mark. Link is going to be in the description below. That's usually where I become a little bit more casual, and if you guys are new to Phantasy Star, I would love to be able to field your questions. But anyway, with that, I'm out. Thank you guys again for watching. Stay awesome, stay beautiful. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.